Altovise Pelzer here, host of the hashtag Speakeasy podcast, brought to you by Comfort Fresh. Comfort Fresh is the leading supplier of quality socks and other garments at affordable prices. They're bringing comfort to those who need it the most. My mother had type 1 diabetes, and so I grew up most of my life seeing her struggle to find socks that kept her feet dry and comfortable. With over 20 years of experience, Comfort Fresh has quality bamboo moisture wicking socks in different styles that are right for you. Check out what styles they have available for you by going to www.comfort-fresh.com. That's www.comfort-fresh.com.
Okay, let's get into today's episode, a posture of perseverance. It's interesting. I haven't done as many interviews over the last few years. I think because everybody's been gravitating towards them, I've kind of fallen back. But yesterday I was invited to do an interview and it sparked something because there were some interesting questions that were being brought up as pertain to the journey for in entrepreneurship, my journey as a speaker, becoming an award-winning speaker, and different things, and how that has changed my perspective of the business, as well as like my goals and where it is that I'm going. And it brought up a thought process for me because I was like, wow, throughout it all, I had a posture of perseverance. Now, interestingly enough, most of us think that we have a posture of perseverance going into entrepreneurship. We believe that, oh, we'll be able to handle whatever comes our way. We'll be able to jump the hurdles, see the obstacles from afar off, and blast blast some type of electricity bolt out of our hand to make it disappear. Like, there's this whole thought process when you start a business where we think we're kind of invincible, but we never really talk about what it means to have a posture of perseverance and what that really looks like in the journey of entrepreneurship. What it looks like and what it feels like is trust. Ooh, now I'm gonna step on some toes in this episode, so just hold on because I got you. I got you. But what it looks like, what it feels like is trust. Ultimately, in order for you to have a posture of perseverance, there has to be something and someone that you trust in. Here's the thing, there are a lot of times where we go into business because of the mistrust that we had at the job, the mistrust that we had growing up, and we grew up in poverty, the mistrust that we had when it came to our parents, and we feel as though they did not take care of us in a certain degree. There's a mistrust there that pushes us into entrepreneurship. And that's a dangerous positioning to be in, because if we going in already mistrusting the system and the process and the people, then you're not going to get anywhere, because ultimately you're going to be fearful of relying on anyone. You're going to be fearful of asking for help when you need it. And when you have a posture of perseverance, I'm not fearful to ask for help. When there is a posture of perseverance, then I'm not fearful to say I've made a mistake. I've messed up. It's not a fear there. And I've seen far too many get caught up in allowing that fear to be what dictates their next move. When I have a posture of perseverance, I have someone that I can go to and talk to. And let's just be honest. When we think about a posture of perseverance, there are some people that believe a posture of perseverance means that I'm willing to do the despicable things in order to see things happen. No, but I am willing to do things that make me feel embarrassed sometimes. I am willing to do things that may make me look like I don't know what I'm doing. It may put me in an uncomfortable position, but I know ultimately it's pushing me into something greater. And so for some of you, that means it's time to get a mentor. 2023 needs to be the year you have a mentor, not just a friend that you go and tell your business to. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's good. Great. Go for that. And they give you high fives. And there's no real like depth or value to it. There needs to be a mentor over you. There needs to be a coach that's coaching you in whatever industry it is that you're trying to achieve success in. And they're not always the same. That can be two separate people. Having a posture of perseverance means I'm transparent about where I am in the journey. That's hard for a lot of people, especially in a day and age where everybody wants to be the influencer, everybody wants to be super successful, everybody wants to have the contracts, everybody wants to have all of these things. I've made mistakes in business and had to go ahead, lick my wounds, apologize, stand up and say, I made a mistake. I took on more than I could handle. Go back and apologize to previous clients and things like that. I've had to take those steps in business that most people aren't willing to take. And that's just honest. And it's not to say that you should be a bumbling, fool, going back and crying over everything that's done. No, but it is saying that I have to be responsible for the actions that I take, the reactions that I have. And if I'm not responsible for it now and I have a couple $100 coming in, what's going to happen when I have a couple 100,000? There's no one holding you accountable. There's a reason why you see big name companies have a board of trustees, because they need somebody that they can go and that can hold them accountable, and that they can go ahead and put things in front of and say, this is what it is, this is what's going on. And it's interesting because I remember at one point in time, someone had asked me to be a board member for their business. And in the time frame, it was exciting. Like I was like, yeah, oh yeah, I would love to. I would be honored. And then I thought about it after the fact because they never followed through with it. That's a whole other message because that'll preach right there. Because the person that was, they were seeking it out because of how it would look for them to have a board of trustees for their business, and it would make them seem more legit. Y'all better catch that. It would make them seem more legit. But when it actually came time for them to have people that would clearly be um, alongside them and sometimes over them in decision making, they couldn't go through with it. And so when we think about it, now mind you, I don't know the whole process of getting a board and what that entails and what it'll cover, but there's still a level of responsibility that you have to the board. There's a level of responsibility that you have to yourself, but sometimes we will bypass the responsibility we give to ourselves, the respect that we give to ourselves, in order for us to do something else. And so here's that process. Deciding that I want to have the posture of perseverance. Is it worth me not always looking like I have it together? Is it worth me having to be silent sometimes and listen, take action in ways that I never thought I would have to take action? Is that something I can do? And when you get to a point where you say, yes, that's something I can do, you realize that you have matured as an entrepreneur. So let this be the year that you get accountability. Let this be the year that you have the mentor and the coach. Let this be the year that you have a posture of perseverance. So no matter what comes this year, you have a support system. But then it goes back to, I got to learn to trust. And so this one's going to hurt for all of you that are just getting into business, for those of you that are looking for 2023 to be the year that you level up, for those of you that are looking to say, you know what, I'm going to go all in and I know that I'm coming out on top at the end of this year. Make this the year that you trust in yourself, that you trust that the division that was given to you is one that you can complete. We're in a society where people will tell you to make the vision board so you can see it, so you can believe it. Write it down so you can believe it. Put it on your windshield, put it on the microwave, put it on, I mean, they'll tell you put everything, right? I was going to say put it on the glass. That's a whole other topic. But just because you write it down on something does not mean that you believe it. And I know this is going to hit home for a few people and it's going to hurt because you don't even trust in the vision that you have. You don't trust in the business that you have, because if you did, then you would be giving more time and energy to it. You don't trust what you can do with your own two hands. And it may be because you failed at something in the past. It may be because of something somebody said to you. It may be because you just don't feel as though you're strong enough to accomplish it. So this year, work on trusting you. Work on trusting the process. Work on trusting your wisdom. Work on trusting the works of your own two hands. When we don't trust ourselves, we'll go into every business relationship almost with an addiction mindset. We need this relationship. We need them to affirm us. We need them to believe in us. We need them to care. We need them to understand us. And sometimes you've been given the vision because you don't need them, they need you. Ooh. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. Hold on. Sometimes you've been given a vision not because they need you, but not because you need them, but because they need you. There's something that you have that will be valuable for what they're doing. And that's why you were given the vision. That's why you were given the understanding. That's why you were given the wisdom. And it's a process because we have to have this boldness, the audacity, right? But we've been beaten down by so many things around us that we feel as though it is boastful to have that confidence. I just wanted to bring you this message really quickly because I feel like people forget that if the vision was given to you, there's a reason why. Like if you were called, it's a reason why. There's a purpose. And this is the year you need to tap into that. Before you look for another hand clap, another pat on the back, before you look for another person to verify the dream that you had, how about you believe in it first? How about you write a letter to yourself and put it in an envelope and put it somewhere where you will see it? Email yourself and schedule it out to literally get to you on December 31st of 2023, congratulating you on the things that you have accomplished this year. Be specific. It took me a long time to get to this mindset of understanding my value when it comes to other entrepreneurs, my value when it comes to clients, my value in the industries that I am a part of, because for so long, I didn't trust that I was good enough. But when you get to a point where you can trust that you can do it, you'll also understand that now you're walking forward in the value that you bring. You're bringing it with every room you step into, that value comes with you. Every table that you sit at, that value is sitting there at the table with you. Don't allow yourself to talk yourself out of your goals this year. Because there's somebody somewhere that needs every part of what you have to offer. With that being said, this is Altovise Pelzer, host of the hashtag Speakeasy podcast. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out.
If you were inspired, leave us a 5-star review, share with a friend, and subscribe.